This place was once described as the biggest and loveliest of all cities. So why is it that today so few people have ever heard of Plovdiv? Hello and welcome to The Travel Show, coming this week from Plovdiv in Bulgaria. Now, you might be forgiven for thinking it looks like Rome or Athens, but those cities are infants compared to this place, which has a pretty good claim on being the oldest city in Europe. The question is, can Plovdiv use this ancient history to bring new life to its streets? On ground level, you might be forgiven for thinking that Plovdiv is a fairly ordinary town. Underneath the streets, however, it's a different story. This place has been occupied by humans for over 8,000 years, with the remains of different eras stacked one on top of the other like pancakes. I've come to a dig that's turning up traces of those who lived here around 2,000 years ago. I'm standing in the middle of modern-day Plovdiv, but in fact this place was also the heart of the ancient city of Philippopolis, which at the height of the Roman Empire had a population of over 100,000. Overseeing the excavations is head archaeologist Elena Kezyukova.
We hope to discover and uncover the shops that have been on the west side of the square, as well as the main wall that was protecting the western side.
2,000 years ago, ancient Philippopolis sat right in the heart of a region called Thrace, and to the Thracians, the city was a pretty big deal.
What Athens is for ancient Greece and what Rome is for the Italians, Philippopolis is for the Thracians.
All right, oh, my turn. Let's go. So I brush very gently, get rid of all these bits of loose dirt. Am I doing a good job? So we've just been cleaning up what is a fireplace, which would have been in the middle of a shop, in the middle of the forum. But the interesting thing about this fireplace was it wasn't just where you would toast your bread or make your dinner. It was where people would make offerings to their gods as well. And it's kind of pretty crazy to discover this in the middle of a modern city. Excavations have uncovered extensive evidence of Plovdiv's glorious past. This is Plovdiv's ancient Roman stadium, and up to 30,000 people would have packed into these stands to come and see chariot races and discus and javelin throwing competitions. Today it still draws crowds, but they're mainly here to see the ruins themselves. Stefan Stoyanov is Plovdiv's deputy mayor and believes sites like this may be a key to the city's future.
These stones are around 2,000 years old, and it's very important to make attraction here on this place and to popularize it.
The plan seems to be working. Figures showed a 20% increase in the number of visitors to Plovdiv in the first 6 months of 2014.
Archaeology is really important for the city, and especially for the tourism, because we have really unique attractions here, and we're trying to develop it every year.
And Plovdiv doesn't just want visitors to come and look at its history. They want the ancient sites to play an active part in city life. Crowds have gathered for the annual Plovdiv International Folk Festival at the restored Roman Theatre.
It's kind of brilliant to see this place being used to entertain the masses, just like it was intended to nearly 2,000 years ago.
If town planners have their way, even more ancient sites will soon be opened up for public use across the city. And they have their fingers crossed that in the future, everyone will finally recognise the name of Plovdiv. If you're thinking of coming to Bulgaria, here's some information you might find useful. If you're planning to venture off the beaten track in Bulgaria, you might be surprised by the contrast between urban and rural areas. While the cities are comparable with many others you'll find across Central Europe, development in the rural areas has happened at a far slower pace. Don't rule out a trip into the countryside, but do allow more time and expect to have to rough it occasionally if you do decide to go rural. Ever found yourself making up sign language to communicate in a country where you don't know the language? Well, beware in Bulgaria, because it's one of just a few countries where a nod of the head means no and a shake means yes. To confuse things further, locals keen to accommodate foreigners have been known to reverse this, so just remember that da means yes. Getting around in Bulgaria can be a little more difficult than in some other destinations. Road signs are mainly written using the Cyrillic alphabet, and some roads are not very well maintained, so public transport is often the best option. Buses can also be a little difficult to navigate, so try train and tram travel to take you where you need to go. But do think about booking ahead for the trains. And finally, if you love roses, then Bulgaria is the place for you. The country produces most of the world's rose oil, and you'll find roses celebrated everywhere here. If you're booking for June, look out for the Rose Festival in Kazanlak, and you might just find yourself picking roses at dawn with the locals.